Now, undoubtedly, drugs are mentioned in court documents to have played a role in the Tanoose, Ray, and Hayden sexual battery case. The probable cause affidavit mentions the victim possibly ingesting a gummy bear laced with Xanax. News 10's John Swanner talked to a drug counselor about this type of medicine, and continuing our News 10 team coverage, he found out trends like this could be on the rise. John?
Well, we have evidence right here on our News 10 airwaves that we've covered here. This story, 2 stories alone, where 2 teen girls were given the drug Xanax with alcohol with devastating results. A 14-year-old girl, the victim of a sexual battery while she was unconscious. And of course, Caitlin Wolf, who was murdered. Tonight, an addictions counselor tells us more about Xanax and gives us advice to follow to help keep our kids safe. On Wednesday, we introduced you to Noah Coley of Hamilton Center. He's an addictions counselor who's very familiar with America's largest growing drug problem, the abuse of prescription drugs. Coley says mixing Xanax and alcohol can be deadly.
It's kind of hard to imagine somebody taking an anesthetic drug and mixing that with alcohol, so they're already sedated. The double whammy, it's very dangerous, and it needs to be looked out and looked over closely by people.
Indiana State Police say the alleged victim in the sexual battery case that recently broke ate gummy bears laced with Xanax. Coley says Xanax-laced gummy bears have been a hot topic of presentations he puts on for groups and organizations here in the Valley. He says these bears are popular at parties, but you'll be surprised to hear where else these gummy bears turn up.
Alcohol gummy bears are called drunken gummies, and it's not that hard to crush up a Xanax or Valium or any kind of pill, drop it into the alcohol and let it soak right in, and then people, young people especially, are using them during parties and trying to sneak them into school as if they're just eating a Jello jiggler. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
As a parent, prescription drug abuse is something that greatly concerns me. And a lot of you at home have shared this same concern with me. And of course, knowledge is power. So besides gummy bears, Coley gives us some food for thought, some warning signs you and I can look for as parents in our efforts to keep our kids safe from prescription drug abuse.
First of all, liquid-based products, whether in a Sprite can or Mountain Dew bottle, maybe it's vodka or like we're talking about here, some sort of drug slurry drink. We had kids in Terre Haute cut the top out of an apple, core it, and take it loaded with marijuana. So it's basically an apple bong in their lunchbox. Taking it to school, taking an empty pen or a straw, stick it in the side, smoking it, putting the lid back on it, just tossing it in the trash.
As I mentioned before, Coley does presentations on teen drug abuse here in the Valley. Now, if you're part of a church, civic group, or organization, Coley told us he would be glad to schedule a presentation for your group. For information on how to set up an appointment, go to our website, WTHI-TV.com. Mike, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, John.